No matter what our role is at the university, we all have some role to play in becoming more global and to embrace what it means to be a global institution, a global family. And so I think what you've seen over the past 10 years has been a university that has embraced the idea that becoming more global is one step closer to fulfilling our mission as a Catholic university.
That was Michael Pippenger, Vice President and Associate Provost for Internationalization. Pippenger walks us through all that Notre Dame Global is, its impact on the world, and how you might be able to get involved. I'm Natalie Davis Miller, and this is NDWorks. Welcome to the NDWorks Podcast, Michael.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Notre Dame Global.
Certainly, I'm happy to. Notre Dame Global is a team that is the centralized office to support Notre Dame in all of its global work. So we have a team that works on study abroad. We have a team that works with international students and scholars. We have a team that supports global faculty research. We work on travel, health, and safety. And we are responsible for Notre Dame's 12 locations across 10 countries on 5 continents. Those locations are London, Rome, Dublin, Kylemore Abbey in the west of Ireland, Jerusalem, Nairobi, Santiago, Chile, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Mexico City, Mumbai, Hong Kong, and Beijing.
Very good.
The division, Notre Dame Global, has a lot to be proud of, and the university has a lot to be proud of in terms of our global footprint. Your listeners might not know that 80% of our students study abroad for a semester, a year, or a summer. That puts us in the top 10 of all universities in the country in terms of the percentage of our students that study abroad. That's a testament to our students' curiosity and their desire to have global experiences be integral to their undergraduate education. We also are known worldwide as being one of the top Fulbright scholar producing universities in the country, and also one of the top receiving Fulbright institutions in the country. We also are known as one of the top producers of Gilman scholars. So we have a reputation of being a center for the exchange of global ideas and for our students and faculty going out into the world with their global work. And that's the work that we help to facilitate and to flourish.
How would you explain the mission of Notre Dame Global?
We are where Notre Dame goes out to meet the world and the world comes to meet us. When I think about the work that we do, it's very ambassadorial in nature. Our goal is to introduce people who might not be familiar with Notre Dame from around the world to what makes this place special, and to encourage them to work with our faculty and our students. And for our students and faculty, we work to imagine how we can send them out into the world so that they can have the impact that they want to have, whether that's through their scholarly research, whether that's through service, whether that's through pilgrimage. Our goal is to provide the mechanisms and the infrastructure for people to pursue those global dreams.
So, Michael, how does the mission support the university's broader goals as a premier global Catholic research university?
Notre Dame's Catholic mission and vision and values are what drive us as a community, as an institution. And Notre Dame Global has a really important role to play in facilitating research that promotes the common good, in creating solidarity between different peoples and communities around the world, in supporting people in the quest for truth and the quest for knowledge. All of these things are shaped and informed by our Catholic identity. And if we are truly to be the global Catholic research university that we want to be, we need to be in and of the world, so that we can make that difference. And to that end, we support programs and initiatives that allow that to happen and flourish.
That's awesome. So it sounds like we have a celebration coming up in September. Someone's been here 10 years or something like that.
I have been here for 10 years,
Okay.
and that's been an absolute privilege and honor. It's been a great ride.
How has Notre Dame Global evolved during that time?
One of the things that has been really exciting to see is how our team has worked with people from throughout the campus and around the world to advance this global mission. I think when I came 10 years ago, there was a sense that, well, we have this office that does global work and global is what they do and that's it. But one of the things that I've worked hard to do in my time here at Notre Dame is to invite and encourage all of us, no matter what our role is at the university, we all have some role to play in becoming more global and to embrace what it means to be a global institution, a global family. And so I think what you've seen over the past 10 years has been a university that has embraced the idea that becoming more global is one step closer to fulfilling our mission as a Catholic university. And so whether you're in athletics or the Division of Finance, or you're in an academic department, or you're someone who's greeting someone at the Morris Inn, we all have a role to play in embodying what it means to be welcoming, what it means to be creating a more diverse and rich community, and what it means to serve others through our scholarship in the promotion of a world that embraces that global identity.
I love that. So you're saying even sitting on campus, I can be part of this.
Absolutely. The fact that you're doing this
this
podcast right now is a sign that people want to learn more about what it means to be global. And hopefully the people who are listening to us have this conversation will walk away at the end of our time together and say, how can I get more involved in that? What does it look like for me to actually become more global in my work? Even in the smallest of ways, it can have a tremendous impact on those we serve.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your partners around the globe. Who are those partnerships with? And can you give us an example of what it looks like?
Sure. Partners come in lots of shapes and sizes. We, as I mentioned before, we have these 12 locations in 10 countries around the world. And so we have team members who work with other universities to support research projects between our faculty. We have relationships, let's say, with state governments on initiatives to bring international students to come and study here during the summer. We might be working with our partners in the church in Rome or Jerusalem or Nairobi to further the work of the church. These relationships all hinge on a shared desire to allow for human flourishing in whatever that looks like. And so our team members work to be custodians and stewards of those relationships and to help facilitate the relationships that our faculty and students have with those global partners. It's that give and take and that interchange that allows people to get to know us better and want to work with us in different projects around the world.
Does this approach differ from what you've seen with other universities?
I think that we are, as we've talked about previously, a really mission-driven organization. So we as a community, because we've talked about what it means to be global, and because we have a centralized office that allows for us to work together in good formation on these global activities, those things are special. That doesn't happen everywhere else. Sometimes it's just a localized relationship between faculty members, or a student goes on a program that somebody else is running that isn't really connected to their home university. I think we take a lot of pride about how intentional we are about being global, and the fact that there is this position that I feel blessed to hold of being a vice president, associate provost for internationalization, to steer that work and to guide that work and to hear from the community how we want that work to evolve. Those things are fairly unique and they help us thrive.
So earlier you said a little bit about research.
Mhm.
Paint a picture for me about the role research plays out in the context of Notre Dame Global, and how does that look different for faculty and for students?
So Notre Dame Global, we are fortunate thanks to benefactors who have donated through the years in providing seed funding for faculty research grants. That faculty research grant funding is essential for our faculty members to develop closer ties with international partners so that they can make the new discoveries, so that they can co-publish the article together that changes the discipline, so that they can get the attention of an outside foundation for a much larger grant than the seed grant would have been. So Notre Dame Global plays an important role in everything from matchmaking to supporting faculty to creating infrastructure to allow those relationships to thrive. And that research work can look radically different depending on which college or school the professor's in and what the project is about and what they're trying to do. So we can have faculty members working on transnational justice in Mexico, or vector-borne diseases in sub-Saharan Africa, or working on imagining resilient town planning in Ukraine. It doesn't matter where the faculty member is doing her or his work. We're here to help support them through grant money, through infrastructure, through matchmaking.
I love that. That is so much deeper than I thought about Notre Dame Global. I'm going to be honest with you. I think, like a lot of people do, you think about students coming here or students going there. But this is research, and it's kind of cool. You're not keeping it to yourself. You're working with other, like you said, governments or universities or whatever. I love that.
We are. And one of the wonderful things about that is that when we're supporting faculty, we're also supporting their students. Oftentimes, our faculty will gladly engage our students in that global work, whether it's doing research here on campus that has a global dimension that helps them with their research abroad, or taking our students, graduate students, undergraduate students abroad to do that work with them, alongside them. That's really exciting because our students then get to see how they can imagine a career that has a global dimension to it. And our faculty and students are making a global network for themselves that serves not just their own goals and ambitions and aspirations, but it also reintroduces Notre Dame constantly to a wider global audience.
That's awesome. What is something people don't know about Notre Dame Global that you would like them to know? And I already told you something I didn't realize. So what do you want to put out there?
First off, I want everyone to know that we have a team of over 200 people around the world that are doing tremendous work to further Notre Dame's mission. That's really exciting. I think people often think that the work is only happening here on campus because that's where they see the work. They see an office. They see students coming in and out to talk about study abroad, or international students working to make sure they're in good compliance with their visa and being integrated into the community. But in fact, our team is scattered across all of these time zones with very different backgrounds and experiences and relationships that they are stewarding. And all of them are connected together through a real passion and love for Notre Dame and what we believe our calling, our vocation is. And so what I hope people are surprised about is that there are people who are representing Notre Dame and who are proud of being the Fighting Irish in far-flung locations and are really making a difference in the quality of lives of people that we serve, both our own community and the communities that we engage.
So now our listeners know how cool Notre Dame Global is. How can our colleagues or listeners engage with your department?
Well, I would want faculty to know that they should come in if they are looking for support in developing and deepening research collaborations or student mobility opportunities in both directions, that they have a home here and that we'll work to design what makes the most sense to make those projects happen. If you're a student, you should come and you should figure out what the next global opportunity is. Oftentimes people think we just do study abroad. Study abroad is an incredible part of our portfolio. About 80% of our students in any given year will be studying abroad. It makes us one of the highest study abroad sending universities in the country, always in the top 10. But we also have programs during the summer for students to do global research and to do global internships. We've also been growing the amount of scholarship money for those summer programs. So there is no excuse for somebody who wants to have a global experience to come into our office. They should come in and we'll find the right opportunity and the right funding for them. I think 10 years ago, we would have thought, well, I did one study abroad experience, and that's enough. Now our students are hungry for 2, 3, 4 experiences, and they want different looks, a research experience or an internship. And then they pair that with a study abroad experience for a semester. This makes us a richer community. It makes us a richer community in the classroom. It makes us a richer alumni community. And when I say richer, I mean more intellectually engaged, more curious, more sympathetic and empathetic to the complexities of the world. There is something for everyone here. If you're a staff member and you're thinking about how can I get involved in international issues, come to us and we'll talk about what the possibilities are for you as an individual or your division, or how we can partner with you. We partner in all sorts of ways. We work with athletic teams when they go on global trips to play global opponents. We work with the Arts Initiative and imagining how we can bring arts to the upcoming biennial and have global theater or music here. The list is really endless. The only thing stopping us is our own imagination. So please, I hope that your listeners hear that they are most welcome here to imagine how they can be a part of the global experience.
That was a lot. And there was a lot I hadn't even thought about.
Right.
Particularly students, I think of, you're here 4 years and you go on one study abroad. And what I heard is you can do more than that and in different areas, right?
Absolutely. There is no limit to the amount of global experiences that you can craft for yourself here. And we have a fantastic team that's created these programs that will meet students where they're at, that are intentional, that allow them to reflect about what it's like to have a global internship in a part of the world you've never traveled to, in a business you've never been in before. That's eye-opening, and it is transformative for the student, right? We also work collectively with people. So I mentioned the athletic teams. Mm-hmm. The men's soccer team went a couple of years ago to the UK to play a number of exhibition matches, but they also did global service work in London with our team in London. There is nothing that we can't imagine together. So that's what I hope people take away as well, that when you think about how you want to add that global dimension, please know that there are people who want to be in conversation and brainstorm with you and then help to make that dream a reality. That's an incredible privilege for us to have as a division. And it's an incredible gift that Notre Dame can give its students and faculty, thanks to the generosity of benefactors and thanks to the creative vision that we should have a centralized office. And we do want to talk about this because it does make a difference and it is essential to who we are as a Catholic university.
I like how much the opportunity works with the mission. That's really cool. So, Michael, when you think about our future as a global university, what do you hope will be true 10 years from now?
I have a lot of dreams. I'm not going to lie. I think that there are so many ways in which we are on a positive trajectory. We are seeing a growth in international undergraduates on campus. When I came 10 years ago, I think we were at 2.8%. And the enrollment division, the admissions team has done a tremendous job over the past decade of increasing that to where for the coming fall, we'll be at 10%. That's a huge transformation. And we are certainly blessed with the Pathways program that Father Dowd talked about in his inauguration speech, which provided need-blind admissions and full funding for international students. That means that we can attract top talent regardless of a student's socioeconomic background from around the world. Why is that important? That's transformational. There are only 10 institutions in the country that have the ability to do that. And for us, that's another mission-driven initiative. We believe that Notre Dame should be serving the world. And as a Catholic institution, we need to go where the church is growing and where the church is flourishing. And so having more international students allows us to build a global Catholic community and a global community for Notre Dame. I'd like to see that continue to grow. We're living into that mission. Another thing that I hope continues to grow in a positive way. We've heard repeatedly from Notre Dame Research about the tremendous growth in research funds that are coming into the university thanks to the great work of our faculty. I'd like to see us continue to grow our international research portfolio so that we can continue to have large-scale projects that affect not just the disciplines that our faculty are representing, but also the people that they're serving in that work. So growing our global research footprint so that we have signature programs that people will know us by. I think one other way is, how do we continue to leverage what makes Notre Dame special here domestically, and how can we share that with people around the world? So for instance, we have a fantastic team in Rome. People know about our study abroad programs there at the undergraduate level and the graduate level. They know about the School of Architecture's year-long program there. But our team in Rome is also working with the city of Rome to imagine programming that allows Notre Dame to be known by a Roman public who may never get to South Bend, Indiana. And how do they hear our faculty or meet with our students through the programming that we do, whether that's in the arts or a specific field of study? I want us to continue to be in the conversation in the places that we're at, so that what makes us special here in the US, people recognize and it speaks to them around the world.
So are you saying, like in Rome, are you saying for the community? Like public?
Sure. We do all sorts of public events around the world that we invite scholars and other students to come and hear lectures or to be a part of a workshop or a symposium or a colloquium or a performance. It's really important. So in the case of Rome, we, a couple of years ago, were working with the city of Rome to be a part of their summer festival and to have one of our lectures be a part of that so that the Roman public can come and hear that work, right? We helped to produce a documentary of a film in Dublin about the liberator Daniel O'Connell. And that documentary received a lot of critical acclaim. It had our faculty speaking about Daniel O'Connell and about Irish history and American history. That led to support from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Ireland. The documentary was broadcast on RTE, the Irish National Network, and the documentary will be in schools throughout Ireland because of its content.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. That's impact, right?
Right.
It's one thing when we talk about the football team going to Ireland and playing Navy and talking about the impact that has on the Irish economy and the kinds of academic programs that we ran alongside that. This is another example of that, right? That documentary speaks to who we are as a university. We created a documentary about democracy building, about human dignity, about political change, about living out Catholic values. And that is now in the public conversation. We should be doing that everywhere. And we are doing that everywhere. And part of our division's goal is to celebrate that and to bring that news, that good news, to the community at large.
That's cool. Very cool. I think we have time for another question, maybe a bonus question for you that I didn't tell you about. So I'm just curious about you. So you've been here 10 years. What has been really special to you whether it's working with people or an event or a place you've been to 10 years that's a nice tenure working, at Notre Dame. So what has been memorable to you?
First off, I would say our students, they bring me a tremendous amount of joy, and I wouldn't trade them for anybody or anywhere else or anything else. Occasionally, I've had the good fortune to teach in the Glenn Family Honors Program. And when I teach, I get to spend extended periods of time with them and hear their questions and hear how they're seeing the world and thinking about the world. And that's a real joy. So that's one thing I would say. I think another thing I would say that has been really special about these 10 years is the way in which we work together as a community to meet our goals. We talk a lot within the division about being in good formation with those we serve. And I think Notre Dame as a university takes that notion of formation seriously. How do we align ourselves so that we are sharing the same values and that helps us row in the same direction to get to the same destination? And I've been around the block enough to know that that doesn't happen at most institutions. And here it really does. We know that we are stronger together. We don't have to convince each other of that point. And we're not fighting one another for different visions of what it means to be global or what it means to serve others or what it means to allow the dignity of an individual person to flourish. I think the Catholic social teaching that knits us together, whether we are Catholic or of a different faith or no faith at all, we are knit together by those shared values. And that allows us to advance in a different kind of way. And I never take that for granted. One of the things that I think is really exciting about what the next 10 years holds as well is that we've had great success for a long period of time in some key strategic places. We've been in London for more than 50 years, thanks to the law school's program there and our undergraduate programs there. We've been in Rome for more than 50 years. We've been in Jerusalem. We have a phenomenal facility in Jerusalem that allows students to learn about and be immersed in the Holy Land for more than 50 years. We will continue to grow and strengthen those programs. The Ireland programs have been going on for over 25 years. Our program in Santiago, Chile, over 25 years. But there's a lot more we can do in the Global South and bringing more students to Latin America, more students to Sub-Saharan Africa, more students to South Asia and Southeast Asia. These are places of the future, and we are poised to be connecting our students and our faculty to these regions in new and exciting ways. So when I think about how bright the future is for our global engagement and footprint, I think we're really blessed to have had generations before us cultivate and grow these phenomenally remarkable programs in heritage locations in amazing countries around the world. And yet we're still growing in areas where we know the church is growing and where we know populations will grow and where we know our students are really hungry and our faculty are hungry for more programming. So it's a terrific balance. And I think that will really allow us to become and live into that global Catholic university, research university that we want to be in the next 20 years as well.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, Michael. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for coming into Notre Dame Global, and I look forward to continuing the conversation in the months and years ahead.
The NDWorks Podcast is produced by the Office of Internal Communications. We're the team that brings you NDWorks Weekly, the NDWorks newspaper, the Week at ND, and a passion for sharing clear, concise, and interesting information with faculty and staff of the University of Notre Dame. We'll be back next time with more news and stories by and for Notre Dame employees. I'm Natalie Davis Miller. Thanks for listening to NDWorks.